I always find fascinating that intuition never fails you, but you can't fail intuition in terms of the guidance is there, and you're like, nah, maybe not. And you go your own way, right? You allow the ego programs to run, and then you pay the consequence. You get punished doubled because you saw it before it happened and you still chose not to trust yourself, right? So you trusted the little self instead of the true self. And I say this because one of my practices that I have, like very, very handy, is to respond or not respond. Phone calls, messages, comments on social media. Because you can feel what the reflection is bringing to you. Like in their world, whatever drives them to do what they're doing, to call you, to approach you, to send you a message, to comment on your post, whatever that is for them, in their reality, it's okay, right? It's whatever it means for them. But what does that reflection is triggering within you? What is it mirroring for you? Now, here is where it's very important to maintain your neutrality and understanding. It's not personal. It's nothing against them. It's not that you not taking their call means they're a bad person, or that you don't want to hang out with them, or whatever. It doesn't mean anything. But you got to stay true to yourself in terms of what is that reflection mirroring back to you? What are they activating? What programs are they mirroring back, so you can see within yourself and then have the free will choice to whether or not engage. But if you know that's the energy they're reflecting, that means if you engage, you're going to be engaging from that frequency. So unless you're completely unconscious and you don't know what the mirror means, you let yourself engage, and that's going to trigger a reaction in them, which in turn is going to trigger something deeper within you, so you can actually explore the mirror through the triggers. But if you already know beforehand, like you've practiced this long enough, that if you engage, you're just going to anchor more of that frequency, crystallize that reality that you already know it's not aligned with the truth of your being, right? For example, I'm going to always use myself as an example. I had a message, a WhatsApp message. Somebody sent me a WhatsApp message. And my first intuition was, do not respond, do not engage, ignore. But because of the connection that I hold with this individual, automatically, I'm just going to say it wasn't my mom. Automatically, my mind was, oh, she's your mom. You cannot ignore her, right? But it was this hard feeling of do not engage. She was asking me if I'm going to vote for, it's the elections here in my country. And apparently, I'm going to say apparently because there's so many versions of how that is actually happening. But apparently, what's the story that's in their mind is that, or the consensus reality is that we're on the verge of going communist or staying capitalist. So they are pushing me to go vote for this candidate that is the least worst of all, they say. And I felt the intuition to not respond whether or not I'm going to vote. And I told her, no. The program pushed me, even though I knew like the clarity was there to do not engage. But because of the program running, she's your mom, you're not going to ignore her, I responded. And what I received after that was exactly the reason I shouldn't have responded. I shouldn't have opened that door to that timeline. Well, there's no should, but I already knew it. Like I could feel it in my bones what that meant. And I still did it. So what happened was this series of, I imagine, this is me imagining, that she told my brother told my ex-husband, and now everybody's coming at me that I have to go to vote and this pressure is being put on me. And I'm like, oh my God, well, that happened because you ignored your intuition. You ignored to not engage with these subtle energies that I already know. I can read, I can feel, I can sense before they happen. So now I have to deal with the consequences of, now I have to ignore more people than if I would have just not responded to my mom, and I would have responded maybe after the elections, right? Now I'm not engaging definitely, because I'm just going to make that bigger. And now I'm appearing in their reality to be irresponsible, to not care. Now if the opposite party wins, now it's going to be my fault in their reality because I didn't vote. So I already know how the ego's going to try to entangle you in those victim stories. That's how it works. So once you open the door, you're going to have to deal with all the shit that follows. Lesson learned. I, every day, trust more and more the guidance, the intuition from my higher self. I'm not questioning it, because before I wanted to know why, but why, right? I need to understand the reasons. And then the reasons were given to me when I trusted. But now I don't even need the reasons. Like, I trust you. Like, just tell me to go right, left. I'll just follow you. I'm not wasting my time in these little things that don't interest me anymore. And you may say, oh, but that's not a big of a deal. Energetically, it is, because I can feel the projection. I can feel the grasping. I can feel the projection of wanting to guilt me and shame me and force me and control me so they stay safe in the little story of reality they've crafted from fear. You see? So because of my sensitivity to energy, it is a big deal for me. Now, it makes me practice even more and more detachment and letting go of the stories where they can still hook onto me, where I am still allowing others to control and manipulate my energy, right? Of course, it's always a good opportunity. Every situation in life, you can always practice more and more mastering your center, staying in your preferred frequency. That triggered a lot of stuff for me that I had to let go of. That's the reason the program won, because it was heavier. It was occupying so much space in my consciousness that it run me. And he told me, because she's your mother, you should respond. Now that gave me the opportunity to clear stuff and to let go of where I'm leaking energy and where they can feel they can actually want to control and manipulate me, right? So now that I see it, now that I feel it, and I can dissolve those programs, now they won't have a hold on me, because they would have nothing to hook on, because I don't have a corresponding frequency program that matches their fear-based narratives.